right, well, welcome all. And you're all brave for coming out here. There's weather around us, but so far looks like it's going to be a little quiet. I was wondering what to do today for a concert and talked to my friend in Kansas, and he told me that he doesn't hear me playing enough banjo. He likes more banjo than ukulele, I guess. And I got to thinking, it's been a while since I've played any banjo, and I should probably make some banjo noises today. So that's what we're going to do today, is banjo noises. And when people think of the banjo, they think of this tune that was played on this type of banjo. This is a bluegrass banjo. I don't really play bluegrass, but this is the banjo that makes those noises. That sounds like, and probably the most famous tune when you play bluegrass that people want you to play is a song that goes like this. I was up on the Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoke on the Rocky Top, there ain't no telephone bill. Corn don't grow at all on the Rocky Top, the earth's too rocky by far. That's why all them folks on the Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top. So anyway, that's a bluegrass banjo, and that's what people think about banjos when they hear banjo. So I thought I would play another bluegrass song, or another old-time song, on a mule. And a mule is a cross between instruments. We've got a couple of instruments that we're going to cross between today. This is a cross between a guitar and a banjo. There's a guitar-ish body on it and a banjo neck. And we're going to play a classic guitar song for the banjo players who don't play guitar. It's called The Wildwood Flower. Wildwood Flower, anyway, on a mule, a cross between a banjo and a guitar. Another nice little banjo sound. And what's next here? So We've had this one out before. This is a gourd banjo, and Glenn and I have talked about gourds, and growing gourds, and this would have been sound about like the first banjos that made it to this country. Probably from Africa, probably from the slaves brought an instrument they had like this that was made out of a gourd with a stick through it and some strings on it. That's kind of the basic part of a banjo. And they would have sang songs about home, I'm sure. And this is an old bluegrass song about home called I Wonder How the Old Folks Are at Home. I wonder if they'll miss me when I'm gone. I wonder if they pray for the boy who went away and left his dear old parents all alone. You can hear the cattle lowing in the lane. You can almost hear the fields of bluegrass wave. You can almost hear them cry as they kiss their boy goodbye. I said, I wonder how the old folks are at home. You can almost hear those fields of bluegrass wave. You can almost hear them cry as they kiss their boy goodbye. I said, I wonder how the old folks are at home. Yes, I wonder how the old folks are at home. Thank you very much. I brought these banjos out here because they're very, very picky about tuning, and when the weather's changing or the temperature's changing, they change. But I didn't defeat this weather. It's changing faster than the banjos are, so sorry about the tuning on that one. So that's an old style banjo, and this is a medium style banjo. Another mule. This is a cross between a banjo and a ukulele, and this one comes from the 20s. Gibson made banjos to satisfy the craving for when people were doing raccoon coats and banjos, and somebody wanted to be a little more show-offy, they made a banjo uke for them. So. And here's another song about home, I guess, and the music we love. When sunset low and the work's all through, there ain't nothing I'd rather do than sit around the house when the folks ain't home. Listen to the music on the gramophone. I like mountain music, good old mountain music, played by a real hillbilly band. Give me rural rhythm, let me sway right with them. Well, I think the melody is grand. I heard Hawaiians play in the land of the Wicky-Wacky, and I must say that they can't beat the turkey and the straw by cracky. I like mountain music, good old mountain music, played by a real hillbilly band. Played by a real hillbilly band. Yeah, another mule. Oh, it's a ukulele. Yeah, it's that's what happens when you leave a ukulele and a banjo in a closet overnight. So you have to be careful. This is another mule. This is a cross between a dobro and a banjo, as it has a resonator on it. And these were the first attempts at self-amplification of an instrument. In the Dopera brothers in the 30s put a speaker cone in an acoustic instrument and then bounced the bridge so that when the bridge vibrated, the strings vibrated on the bridge and the bridge vibrated, that caused that whole cone to move. It looks like an angel food cake pan inside, and that all moves and is supposed to make the instrument louder. Well, it's a great invention until they figured out how to do amplification. So, but they're kind of fun instruments to play, and this gives a banjo a nice, lovely kind of mellow sound. And I was going to play a song for you. Let me see what I'm going to play. So this is a song that's called When You're Old and Gray and Only in the Way. How oftentimes we meet while walking down the street, some poor old man who's getting old and gray. In his pocket's not a cent, and with age his back is bent. As for shelter, he has no place to go. He's relation by the score, they barred him from the door. They meet him on the street, they pass him by. When you ask them why they do, they turn and say to you, he's old and gray and only in the way. But let us cheer them on, for they won't be with us long. Don't quarrel with them because they're old and gray. And remember, when you're young, old age to you will come, and you'll be old and gray and only in the way. There was a time here when youth was not so queer, but since that time there's been an awful change. Young men will strengthen back to their parents' they bring strife. If it happens every day, it's not so strange. In shackles they'd toil, their children they'd spoil. Oft times for them now they did pray. He and his faithful wife have been struggling all their life to find their old and only in the way. But let us cheer them on, for they won't be with us long. Don't quarrel with them because they're old and gray. And remember, when you're young, old age to you will come, and you'll be old and gray and only in the way. You'll be old and gray. Hell, I don't believe that song at all. None of us are in the way. We may be old and may be gray, but we're having too much fun. There was a time in the 1890s when there were banjo bands, banjo orchestras, and they had whole orchestras of banjo players with all different sized banjos. So the regular banjo would be like a standard size banjo, and then this was the piccolo banjo, and there was one a little bigger called a cello banjo, and they even had a stand-up bass banjo. And they played classical music of all things. was written out just like you would for an orchestra, and I've not heard anything of that, but I bet it'll be interesting music. And I'm going to have to tune this one because it's a little finicky. So this is a regular 5-string banjo, but it is short. Ooh. And getting close to in tune. So anyway, this is an open back banjo, and this is what they played to accompany fiddle tunes. Here's an old fiddle tune for you on a piccolo banjo called the Barlow Knife. Make sure I've got this on here. Let it flop off of there. The Barlow Knife on a piccolo banjo, plenty high, plenty high. And this is a open back old time banjo. This one a fellow made for me, gave to me, and it has a pot from 1923, so it's almost 100 years old now. I'm singing songs that I've sung a long time, and you can tell because I remember most of the words to these. And this Marcia's got tied up doing something, so she isn't here, but she always wonders how come I can never remember the words to the hymns, but I can always remember this song. This is a song that's called, the song is called, I'd Like to Be 16 Again and Know What I Know Now. Jimmy Martin. Words. No, I can't remember the words. Oh, yeah, here we are. Well, the worst mistake that I ever made. I gotta find that pitch. Well, the worst mistake that I ever made was take that wedding vow. Now I'm tied to a nagging wife and I'm always in a row. Too scared to talk, I walk the chalk, my head I meekly bow. I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. Said I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. The girls that please with every squeeze, I'd make them holler, wow. but it's too late to change my fate. Such things are not allowed. I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. I spent my youth running around and I thought I knew it all. But what I learned it hard, and now my head is bald. I reminisce of the things I miss, of the fields I'd like to plow. I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. Said I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. The girls that please with every squeeze, I'd make them holler, wow. But it's too late to change my fate, such things are not allowed. I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. My teeth are gone, I'm not too strong, I lost my sex appeal. Even a jug of Geritol. See, most audience don't know what Geritol is. Couldn't cure the way I feel, but like an old dog, oh, too bad, all I can do is growl. I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. Said I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. The girls that please with every squeeze, I'd make them holler, wow. But it's too late to change my fate, such things are not allowed. I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. Said I'd like to be 16 again and know what I know now. I'd like to be 16 again. Oh heck, I'd just like to know what any 16-year-old knows now. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. It's kind of a trip through banjo noises. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave these up here if you want to come and poke at them a little bit and look at them. They're kind of fun to look at and fun to play. But we'll close with, you take a C and an R and an E S S W I N D, and that spells phrase. We ain't a mean special place. You take a C and an R and an E-S-S W-I-N-D, and that spells praise. It's mighty nice. You don't cover a line when you look on the map, but I was studying geography while I was looking at my retirement map. You take a C and an R and an E-S-S W-I-N-D, that spells press wing, and it's home to me, and that spells press wing, and it means paradise in Gainesville, Georgia, USA. Thank you all very much. We beat the weather. You're very brave to come out here tonight and enjoy. Come join us playing ukulele. We're starting a new class on Tuesday. It'll be lovely. All right, God bless.